Hello, and welcome to the Wake Tech's Nursing Information Session. We are glad you're here. Hopefully, we're going to cover the information that you need to know about the program-specific admission requirements for our nursing programs. Unfortunately, our programs are limited enrollment. They are competitive, which we will cover, and so registering for nursing classes is not as easy as just applying to the college. So, what programs does Wake Tech have? So for our nursing programs, we have the practical nursing program that will lead to an LPN. We have our traditional nursing program, which leads to an RN. And then we have an LPN to RN advanced placement program. Now, if you are in this information session and you already are an LPN, then you're in the wrong session. There is a different session that is specific for you because there are different requirements if you're an LPN and you want to complete your RN. But if you're interested in our practical nursing or our traditional nursing program, you are in the right place. So an LPN versus an RN, what is the difference? I've kind of have two little categories here for you to look at, but LPN stands for a licensed practical nurse, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It is very practical. You're going to work with patients who are relatively stable. You're going to make sure they're comfortable. If there is any change in their condition, you will report that to the registered nurse. Now, the registered nurse can oversee LPNs and nurse aides, and they're going to be responsible for providing care for patients who are not stable. They're going to observe, they're going to document changes, they're going to reach out to required people if there's any changes in that patient's medical condition. Now, what Wake Tech does not offer is a bachelor's degree in nursing. To receive a bachelor's degree in nursing, you have to go to a four-year university. So if you are here in this information session because you said you want nursing, and you do not want to take nursing classes at Wake Tech, then you're going to email admissions@waketech.edu and you want to change your major to university transfer. You don't have to complete this information session if you don't want to. But for those of you who are here and you want to complete the nursing classes at Wake Tech, you want this information session, all right? But if you know that you are planning to transfer to ECU, Chapel Hill, or to another four-year university to complete their bachelor's degree in nursing, you do not need to stay. So we appreciate you being here, but you don't have to stay. Now, in the beginning, I did state that our nursing programs are competitive, and what that means is we only have so many students that we can accept into our program because we are limited in clinical space, faculty to student ratio. And so our acceptance is not a wait list. It is not first come, first serve. It is a competitive process, and you're going to receive points for grades that you earn in specific classes, and these classes are part of the programs. So we'll start with practical nursing. Practical nursing is a diploma, and you can see there are 3 semesters listed on this slide. And you see Nursing 101, Nursing 102, Nursing 103. Those are your nursing clinical coursework that you have to complete. But you also see 4 general education courses: the English 111, the General Psychology, the Biology 163, and the Math 110. So those are general education courses that students can take ahead of time. And the way the points work, whether it's nursing, practical nursing, either one, A's are worth 4 points, B's are worth 3 points, and C's are worth 2 points. And then we're going to multiply that by the credit hour of the course. And you can see English, psychology, math, those are all 3 credit hours. So if you make an A, you get 12 points. A B is 9, a C is 6. The anatomy and physiology is a 5 credit hour course, and those points are doubled. So if you make an A in Biology 163, 4 times 5 is 20, and then those points are doubled, so you get a total of 40 points. And that's how we add up the points. All right? The points are only awarded for those classes. If you do CLEP or have AP credit, then the points are going to be equivalent to earning a B in that class. Now, for the math and the biology, a lot of students might have a different math course. We are going to accept any college level math course that is Math 110 or higher. Now, the class has to be completed within 10 years of the first nursing course, and we will accept it. If it is more than 10 years old, we will not accept it, and you will not receive points, so you will have to retake that math course. With the anatomy and physiology course, students might have the A&P 1 and 2 sequences. So that could be the 168 and 169, or it could be 165 and 166. So if you have a two-part sequence, we will accept it. Now, again, to receive credit, there is a time limit, and the window is 5 years. So those courses have to be 5 years from the first nursing course. The 5-year window is based on the completion of the second A&P course. So that means the 5-year window would be based on like the Biology 169. So you have some substitutions there. Now the nursing program of study, and you can see there's listed 5 terms, and you see nursing 111 in the first term, nursing 112 and 114 in the second term. The nursing classes do go in order. That's a lockstep program, and they have to be followed in that exact sequence. The general education courses, and you can see 9 of them, they're in bold. You're going to see you've got your A&P 1, General Psychology, and your English 111, your freshman composition course. A&P 2, Developmental Psychology. There's Microbiology. And then you see Sociology 210, Introduction to Sociology, English 112, your second English course, and then there's a Humanities Fine Arts Selective. So those are the classes students can take ahead of time, and just like with practical nursing, your A's are 4 points, your B's are 3, your C's are 2. Multiply that by the credit hour, and that's going to give you your points. For the Humanities Fine Arts Selective, we will accept any sort of art, music, drama, philosophy, religion. We have humanities courses. So as long as it's a 3 credit hour humanities course. And you can see, again, biologies are doubled, and those are worth a lot of points. So that's how you earn your points. Now, some students want to know why biology courses are worth so many points. Well, it comes down to what is highlighted there. The branch of science, this is biology, is what is going to help you learn to understand how life works so that you can maintain it. So it is imperative, hopefully, that you learn your anatomy and physiology and your microbiology, so when you are working with a patient, you can help them get better. You understand what is going on if there are complications, and you can best assist that patient. That is why your biology courses are so important and why they're worth so many points. Now, some common questions we get about the points. So even though the program planning guide shows the nursing courses with the general education courses, students want to know why they can't take them together. The issue is we have too many applications. On average, for nursing, we accept 80 students. We receive around 200 applications. For practical nursing, we accept around 15 students, and we've gotten about 50 applications. So, consultants have come in, research has been done, and we find that students are more successful in the nursing classes if they have those general education courses completed and out of the way. So, unfortunately, taking the nursing classes with the general education courses is very rare. Sometimes students do get accepted with maybe one class that has not been completed, And if that's the case, they would take that class with the nursing courses, but a student would not begin in a semester taking all gen ed courses and the nursing courses the way it shows on the program planning guide. So, why doesn't the program guide just have all the general education classes listed first, right? And then you go into the nursing classes. Well, just because you complete all the general education classes, it doesn't mean that you can then begin nursing courses, because again, it's competitive. We're going to give you points, we're going to rank you, and the top students are going to be accepted. Can you retake a course if you didn't do well in it? Yes, you can. You want to check with your financial aid to make sure they're going to pay for you to retake the course. But we will take the class with the highest grade. If you make a D or an F, you have to retake the class. We only accept a C or higher in the nursing programs. Do you have to have all classes completed? You don't. You do not have to have all classes completed to be able to apply to the program. But the issue is the more points you have, the better chance you have of being accepted, and you earn points by completing the classes. So it is very rare that a student is accepted without having all the classes completed. And for practical nursing, if you've completed Biology 168, do you still, will that meet requirements for 163? No, it does not. 168 is only half the body system. You need 169 to have the complete body system covered. 163 is the whole body system in one semester. So it's not as in depth, but it does go faster. So you do have to have 168 and 169 completed to receive credit for 163. Now, first step you have to do if you're interested in our nursing program is you do need to become a Wake Tech student. To do that, you have to apply to Wake Tech. We need your transcripts. If you have an associate's degree or higher, we may not need your high school transcript. And then once we're done, you're going to take the test of understanding, scoring 90% or better on that. You can take it as many times as you want. And then let us know. Email hsadvising@waketech.edu. Let us know everything is done. And then we're going to change your major and accept you as a pre-nursing student. As a pre-nursing student, if you have college transcripts, they can now be evaluated. If you need to register for general education classes, you're going to be able to register for classes. Some classes, especially the biology courses, are restricted to specific majors, and a lot of those majors are pre-nursing. So if you're not that pre-nursing major, you're going to have to wait to register for those classes. Also, as a pre-nursing student, your advisor will be a health science advisor, and the health science advisors understand the process to get into nursing and all the additional items you have to complete. So it's always a good thing to be a pre-nursing student to get that advice. Transfer credit. We have a lot of students who come to us with transcripts. So, few things just to understand. The advisors do not award transfer credit. We can review transcripts and we can say we think this will come over, and we can advise you to the best, that we can, but the registrar's office evaluates those transcripts. So after you've become a pre-nursing student, after you have submitted official transcripts, the registrar can start that process. I've got a highlighted email up at the top, tranevalreq@waketech.edu. Reviewing a transcript can take 3 to 4 weeks. So if you don't start to see any sort of transfer credit in your self-service, you can always email the registrar to see if anything is going, where your transcript evaluation is. If you do not receive credit that you think you should, you might have to complete a transcript reevaluation request and submit a syllabus to show what was actually covered in those classes. And finally, just note that Wake Tech, when they evaluate transcripts, will evaluate them for the coursework, not for the time limit. You know that the biology courses have to have been completed within the past 5 years. If they weren't, but you still receive credit for the class, the nursing program will not accept that credit. All right, so just make sure that those biologies are within the 5-year window. Now, everyone wants to know pretty much, how do I get into the nursing program? I have all the gen eds completed, or, I'm not as interested in that. I want the nursing courses. Well, there are program-specific requirements that you have to complete. Number one, there is a separate nursing program application. We have program application windows that is released, and you can submit it to us. All right, we're going to cover that. You also have program-specific requirements. So students take the T's, they have to be a nurse aide. So we're going to cover all of that right now. So the first thing, for you to be able to submit a program application, you have to meet what we call MAR. That's the minimum admissions requirements to be able to submit that program application. The first item on MAR is the reading and writing proficiency. And honestly, everyone has English 111 completed. English 111 is your basic freshman composition course. So most students are going to have that one. All right. The next requirement is the math proficiency. Now, the math proficiency is a little different. So this is specific for the nursing program in that you have to show a certain level of math competence within the past 10 years. That can be a high school GPA, it can be a college level class, it can be that you completed an associate's degree or higher, but it's got to be within 10 years. You have to be able to register for the chemistry, or you have to be able to register for the math 110. So the math has to be completed. That is part of MAR. There is a difference in the math between practical nursing versus nursing. So for the nursing program, if you recently graduated from high school or graduated within the past 10 years and you have a high school GPA of a 2.2 or higher, you have met your math proficiency for our nursing program. Now, if you remember from the points, practical nursing has a math class required. It is Math 110. So for a student who is applying for practical nursing, you have to be able to register for the Math 110 without the co-requisite, which is Math 010. To be able to do that, your high school GPA has to be over a 2.8. So your math is a little bit higher than the traditional nursing student. So make sure you've met that math requirement. Also, if you're a nursing student and you want to have a parallel plan and also register for practical nursing, remember that if you meet the math for nursing, you may not have met the math for practical nursing. Check with that health science advisor to make sure that you understand if you've met the math. You also have to show that you have met a science proficiency, because you have to be able to register for anatomy and physiology. That is biology 168. And the prerequisite to be able to register for biology 168 is showing that you have completed either a college level chemistry or a college level biology course, or if you completed a high school chemistry course. Now, there's no age limit to these requirements. So if you haven't done any of those, you could take Chemo 90, Chemo 92, you could have Biology 110, Biology 111, or if you have completed the Biology 163 already, or the Biology 168 and 169 already within 5 years, then you've met the science proficiency. So a couple of things you have to meet here. All right. We also have the TEAS test. That's the ATI-TEAS, the Test of Essential Academic Skills. This is a test that you can take online. You schedule that through ATI, so you can see there's an email right there, atitesting.com. You're set up an account, you will pay for the test. The TEAS test is expensive, so we do not recommend that you take it soon. We usually recommend that you take it after you have completed your biology classes. So you want to do the best you can. We will accept the T's 5 or higher as long as it has been completed within 3 years of the program application deadline. You need to have at least a minimum score of 59 on the T's to submit the nursing program application. If the test score is below 59, you cannot submit the application. And the test scores have to come directly from ATI. Can you retest? Yes, you can. Now, the retest policy is you can test twice in a calendar year, and the test dates have to be 30 days apart. This is Wake Tech's policy. This is our nursing department's policy. This is not ATI's policy. ATI will let you test as many times as you want to. All right, we're not going to accept those scores. It's got to be twice a year, 30 days apart. And we superscore. So what does superscore mean? So there's 4 sections to the TEAS test. There's a reading section, a math, a science, and an English. And you're going to get a score for each section. So if you take the test more than once, we are going to take the highest score per section per test that you have completed that meets our retest policy. So on this example, you can see that this student took the test 5 times, and there's different scores that we're going to use. The only downside to this is you're going to have to pay ATI to send us each and every test score. So hopefully wait to the very end, take the test after you've completed your biology courses. And the reason why the TEAS test is important, remember, we're competitive, right? You're going to get points for the grades you've earned, but you can also get points for the TEAS test. This is the only other way you can earn points. So you get points for the grades, you get points for the T's. And you can see if you score 71%, a composite score is equal to 6 points, 81% or better is 12, and 91% or better is 20 points. So that's the only other way that you can earn points. Now, everyone needs to be a nurse aide or a CNA. Everyone needs to be listed on the North Carolina Nurse Aide Registry, and this must be done by the program application deadline. You can take the nurse aide class at any state-approved training facility. Wake Tech does offer a nurse aide class. That nurse aide class goes through our Workforce Continuing Education Department, and I've listed their email right there, nurseaide.waketech.edu. So, you take the class. When you're done with the class, then you have to sign up to take the state written exam and the state skills exam. And this can take a little while to complete. So make sure you have time between the end of your class and the application deadline to submit your verification. Now, how do you get your verification? And this verification will be attached to your program application. You've got to send them together. So you're going to go to the North Carolina Nurse Aide Registry's webpage, and you want to verify your listings. And you can see I've got the little red box down there on the screen, and you're going to enter that information. Once you enter that information, you're going to get a sheet that looks like this, and you can see that the Easter Bunny completed their original test date was in 1996. That's wonderful. And then there's a listing expiration date, and that's what we're looking for. That expiration date has to be current at the time you submit the program application, and it has to be current at the time that you start the nursing program. So if they expire. The registries are good for 2 years. If you're working as a nurse aide, you can renew it. So just if yours expires between the application deadline and the start of the nursing program, just update and send us a new verification form. But this is the form that we are looking for to verify that you are a nurse aide. Some questions that we have on the nurse aide is, I'm already in healthcare. I'm a paramedic, I'm a medical assistant, I'm a farm tech. Do I still have to be a nurse aide? Well, we need to show that you're on the registry. So however you can get that done. The North Carolina Nurse Aide Registry does have a web page, and they do allow challenge exams. So you would have to reach out to them to see if your experience would allow you to challenge the exam. But we're not going to waive the requirement to be on the registry. You have to be on the registry. I can't register for the Nurse Aide course. What do I do? Now, some students will try to register for that course through our normal registration system called self-service. But that is not the way you register for it. Our Nurse Aide course, if you're taking it through Wake Tech, goes through our Workforce Continuing Education department, and you register directly through them. You pick out the class, you pay them right then and there. All right, so nurseaide.waketech.edu. I'm going to complete the class by the application deadline. Can I still apply? No, you cannot. You must be on the registry. So the class alone, that's great, but you have to be on that registry by the application deadline. If not, you'll just wait to the next application to submit your program application. All right? The final thing that you need is your English language proficiency. This is not the same as the initial requirement for the reading and writing. This is a form that's attached to the nursing program application, and what it wants to know is if you're proficient in understanding, speaking, and listening in English. You have several options. My first language is U.S. English. My first language is not, but I've attended and graduated only from a U.S. high school. So there's several options. One thing to point out, if you have a GED or an online high school transcript, that does not meet the requirement. You are still going to need to submit a partial high school transcript or a middle school transcript, some verification that you attended a brick and mortar U.S. school. Right. If your first language is not U.S. English, and I have attended high school outside the United States, so if you click off box number 6, you are required to take the TOEFL exam. The TOEFL exam, I believe, also can be done virtually. They do have a speaking section which you need to use a microphone, and those scores need to be to us by the program application deadline. So, MAR, minimum admissions requirements. What is the minimum you need to submit the program application? Well, you need to meet that reading and writing proficiency, remember, English 111. You need to meet the math proficiency. It can be a high school GPA as long as it's within the past 10 years. You need that science proficiency, whether it's chemistry, general biology, or the A&P. You need to take the TEAS test. You must be on the Nurse Aide registry, and you need to take the TOEFL exam if needed. That is the minimum that you need to submit the program application, and we have windows. So for the spring start, our spring start of nursing classes, that would be a January start. The program application window opens April 1st and it closes July 31st. So everything has to be done by July 31st. For our fall entry is August for our nursing classes. The application window opens October 1st and it closes January 31st. Again, everything needs to be done by January 31st and submitted to us. For our practical nursing program, our next class is going to be the spring 2024. That application window will open May 1st. It closes September 1st, 2023. You will need to check back with us to find out the next start date after spring 2024. All right. All program applications will be sent to hsadvising@waketech.edu. Program applications will not be accepted late. Make sure you submit all supporting documentation with the program application. We will send you confirmation that we have received your program application. If you do not receive confirmation from us, please email us and make sure we have received your application. All right. Emails can sometimes get lost, so we will send you confirmation to verify for you that we have received your program application. Now, what do we do with these applications? Well, first we're going to make sure you met the MAR, right? We're then going to review your transcripts for the general education courses. We're going to award points. We're going to look at the TEAS test, award points. We're then going to rank you from highest to lowest, and we're going to send that Excel report to the nursing department. The nursing department will review it, and then they will email notifications to all students, whether you're accepted, you're not accepted, or you're an alternate. All email notifications will be sent only to a Wake Tech email. So make sure you are checking your Wake Tech emails. So we do not have a wait list. We can't guarantee you're going to be accepted. If you're not accepted, make an appointment with the health science advisor. Find out what your options are. Are there other programs? Do you need to retake courses? Talk with an advisor to see what you need to do. And we strongly recommend having a parallel plan because we do receive a lot of applications, and you can see right here for the fall 2022 we had 240 applications, and the points ranged from 143 to 180. And remember, for traditional nursing, straight A's are 160 points. If you have B's in every class, you have 120. And you can see 120 was not in that accepted point range. So unfortunately, our program is competitive. You're going to need A's and B's and not many C's to be competitive. If you look at the practical nursing program, we were over 50 applications for each class. We only took 11, and the points were over 60. Straight B's are 57. Straight A's are 76 points. So this should make you go, when you're planning your courses, if you are working a lot and you have a lot of responsibilities, you might not want to take a bunch of classes at one time. You want to avoid having to repeat courses, pay again to take a course, and you don't want to burn out. So you want to plan your schedule wisely and do the best that you can. Use all the resources that are out there. The ILC, the STEM Center, the Success Coaches, anything and everything that Wake Tech has to offer, you want those resources. All right? So what is next for you? So what's your next steps? Well, hopefully in essence, you've pretty much completed the information session. Your next step is to take the test of understanding. And remember, you can take it as many times as you want to, and you want to score 90% or better on it. If you've already submitted a Wake Tech application, we thank you very much. If not, please do that and get us your educational transcripts. And once all that is together, please email us at hsadvising@waketech.edu. That is your email to go to for any questions you have about a health science program. Email us, let us know everything is done. After that, it really depends on what you want to do. If you have completed all of the general education courses, you don't need anything else, and you're ready to submit the nursing program application, then do that. The nursing program applications are online. They're on the nursing pages. If for some reason you cannot find it, let us know. Email us. We can send you a link. And then make sure you've had TEAS, send us your scores. Submit your TOEFL scores if that's required. And make sure we have everything by the program application deadline, depending on which window you're applying for. If you know that you need to take classes, so you don't have all the classes completed, make sure you have activated your student account. Make sure if you're a brand new student, you've done the new student orientation. If you're planning to take virtual classes, you want to log into Blackboard and complete the e-learning intro. If you want to talk with an advisor, create an academic plan, please make sure to make an appointment with a health sciences academic advisor. If you go to the HS Admissions, so HS for Health Science, HS Admissions webpage, we have a link for bookings. Or again, if you just email us, we have a book an appointment link in our email signature. And apply for financial aid if you're going to do that. If you do need to register for classes, registration pretty much runs all the time, but our big semesters are fall, which begins in August, spring, which begins in January, and summer, which begins in May. The registrar's webpage will have registration priority dates. If you need that academic advising, please schedule an appointment with us. And you want to check your self-service for transfer credits. And if your transcript hasn't been evaluated yet, you want to contact, there's that email again, tranevalreq@waketech.edu. Now, prerequisites. A lot of students are saying, but these are the classes that are on the program planning guide. It won't let me register. Realize that some courses have a prerequisite, and a prerequisite is a course that a student is required to complete before being permitted to enroll in a more advanced program or course. So for English 111, you need a high school GPA over a 2.8 or completion of English 2 P2. So English 111, there's several you can see on this list. To take English 112, you need English 111. If to take developmental psychology, you need psychology 150. The biologies, you need chemistry. So for those students who don't submit a high school transcript, but you had chemistry in high school, not in college, you will want to get us your high school transcript so we can document that you had chemistry so you could register for your biology course. You need biology 168 before 169, and you can see the prerequisites for the micro. So even though the classes are listed, there might be prerequisites. Don't get scared by this page. Self-service will let you know what the prerequisite is. The computer system will not let you register for a class if you haven't met the requirements. Now, last thing, just if I haven't scared you away yet, there are a few considerations. Please realize that everybody, when they're accepted into the program, so you are accepted, you're into the nursing classes, there are clinical requirements you have to meet. There's a physical exam, immunization records, and you are going to have to verify that you've had both flu and COVID vaccines. Everyone does a criminal background check, drug testing, and you have to have proof that you have health insurance coverage. If you have questions about this, there is a clinical compliance administrator. Her information is at the bottom of the slide. Her name is Barbara Smith, basmith1@waketech.edu. So if you've got questions or concerns, please reach out to her. Advisors do not know what sort of criminal background checks will keep students out of clinical requirements. Also, please realize that there is a time commitment. Once you get into those nursing courses, there is a big difference between English and psychology versus nursing 101 or nursing 111. Psychology, you go in, you memorize the material, you write papers. The nursing classes, if you see, there's a class, right? There's class hours, there are lab hours, and then there are clinical hours. So you are going to not only have to learn the information, but you are going to have to also apply it. You're going to need to learn and know, and your skills are going to be growing each semester. So it is a big commitment. We strongly recommend if in that first semester, if you could have reduced work hours or not work, that would be great. Some students go into these courses and have absolutely no problem applying what they have learned. Other students have a difficult time applying this because you have other people around you and it can be a little nervous. So we do recommend when you apply for nursing, be ready for that big commitment and hopefully be in a place that you've got support and some financial aid set up and scholarships and grants and all that good stuff. All right. Thank you very much. Hopefully we have provided you the information you need to make a decision about our nursing program, and you know that there are different requirements for the program that you have to meet first. Again, there's our email. All the advisors are located at the Perry Health Sciences campus. Thank you very much, and we hope to hear from you soon. Bye-bye.